All right, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about plate tectonics. So remember the Ring of Fire? We had the Ring of Fire, it surrounds the Pacific Ocean. This gives us clues that our crust is not one solid piece, but in fact broken pieces of Earth, and that there's something underneath that's causing it to move. And so that's what we're going to kind of focus on first, is to make sure that we understand that this concept of plate tectonics really involves the mantle, the layer underneath our Earth's crust, is at the layers of the Earth. The crust, the mantle, the inner core, and the outer core. But I want to make sure that we understand when we talk about these pieces of Earth that move, it's not just the crust, but it's the crust in the uppermost most part of the mantle, which is called the lithosphere. And this lithosphere is what actually moves on top of the next part of the mantle, which is called the asthenosphere. The asthenospheres cause it to move. And so it's really, we pay attention to what's going on in the asthenosphere, because it's what's going on in the asthenosphere that's causing our lithosphere, the crust and the uppermost part of the mantle, to move. So here was actually the boundary of all of the Earth's plates. And again, we started to notice and figure out where these plates occur based on our information of volcanic and earthquake activity. And so you'll see that there's really 7 major plates. There's often little smaller plates, like here we have the Caicos plate, we have the Caribbean plate, and they're really small ones. But we have 7 major plates. We have the Pacific plate. And right here on the Pacific plate is the Ring of Fire. And so there's something really happening in the Pacific plate that we want to eventually talk about. So the one thing I need to make sure we understand is the reason why these plates move have to deal with this concept called convection. And the concept of convection is making sure that we understand hot air or hot liquids, hot anything, rises. And so here we have a pot, and you'll see that we have a fire underneath this pot, which is causing this water to get warm. And what ends up happening is this hot water starts to rise because it's less dense. When this hot water starts to rise, the cold water starts to fill in after it, kind of gets sucked in to where the hot water once was, and it starts to create what's called a convection current.
It happens because hot rock rises, heated by the Earth's core. Near the surface, the rock spreads in 2 directions and goes sideways. It begins to lose heat. Eventually, the much cooler rock sinks back down. Through this spreading process, the Earth's crust is very slowly dragged apart, and it's this that ultimately causes the continents to move. Where the plates collide, the rock on the seafloor containing carbon from the dead plankton is carried deep into the Earth. As it descends, this layer of rock is heated, so the rock melts, releasing carbon dioxide. And gas is returned back into the atmosphere.
3 types of plate movement that we're going to really focus on. The first one that we're going to be talking a lot about is the divergent. And so we have 2 plates that are pulling away or splitting apart. We also then have convergent, which is talking about 2 plates coming together. And then finally we're going to be talking about the transform plate movement, which is when 2 plates slide past one another. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be focusing on this concept of plate tectonic. Make sure you have your notes ready, and we will be using this in class.